following program on Ada Derana 24 is classified for general audience. It is intended for all ages. It contains little or no violence, no strong language, and little or no sexual dialogue or situations. Live to tape from Studio 24. This is Showbiz Tonight. Here's your host, Sanuvi Mudanayaka and Mahesh Jani.
Hello everyone, people of Earth. Well, guess what? We've returned once again on a Sunday night as well. Usually I come at this time to talk about politics. But as you can see right behind us, it says Showbiz Tonight and Sanuvi is here. So obviously we are not going to talk about politics. We're going to talk about something else. How are you, Sanuvi? Again?
I'm good. I'm good. I know, quite a surprising turn of events. Quite happy that the rest of the two boys are not here so that I don't have to argue with anyone.
And we Marvel fans can,
yes,
you know,
we can
really
enjoy our time on air. So, this time around, since we already had our rounds speaking about showbiz, all the goss and everything that happens in Hollywood, today we decided to sort of have a quick interview. Which
we do usually on Showbiz.
Yes,
We've done Shalini Paris from White Lotus, and then Aloe Black was here, one of the rappers from the US. So we had a couple of celebrity interviews,
definitely.
And yes, definitely we're going to have another celebrity interview today.
And the fun part about this one is close to home.
Yeah, exactly. Very close to home.
Very close to home. And
I mean, like yards.
Literally, you'll see what we're talking about. I think we have got a person who has actually transformed media in Sri Lanka. It's quite an honor for me actually to have you by my side and also this particular person by my side as well.
Okay, buttering doesn't work, Sanvi, but then again, yes, let's introduce, just tell our viewers exactly. It is none other than the director of programming for TV Derana and the Derana Media Network, Ms. Sharmila, Dharmarasa Fonseka. We call her Sham.
Yes.
Also, she has that big title, which I just told you, director of programs at the media network, the TV, the Derana Media Network. She's actually a friend.
Yes, she is a friend, and so here's my issue. Both of them are my bosses, so this is fun. I am not in hot water whatsoever. So we have Mahesh on this side. We of course have the director and the head of programming for Derana Media Network, Sharmila Dharmarasa Fonseka, ladies and gents. I think it's very rare that we see Sham on this side of the camera. She's often behind the camera, directing everything. First and foremost, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so.
How is Sham? Did you watch any good movies recently?
Yeah, I did. Several actually. I watch all kind of films actually. It's not only English. I watch Hindi, I watch Tamil, I watch Japanese, Korean, so
is that where you get all your inspirations from?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes. Yeah, we are inspired by a lot of things around, right? I mean, it could be a person, it could be an incident, it could be something you watch, you know. So whenever I sit down and write with my team, of course, you get inspired by a lot of things, and that's when you choose things which is suitable for the Sri Lankan market, because you can't think of, we don't usually write things for Khan, or not always. So here we have a restriction in a certain way, we have an audience. So we kind of adopt what we see and make it right for the audience here, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Yeah, exactly. It's always a bumpy ride, isn't it? Sham, now 20 years, TV Derana is now celebrating 20 years this year. 11th of October, we've completed 20 years in the media space here in Sri Lanka, redefining, bringing, keeping the traditional Ape de Rakagena, Alud de Aragena, which we've been true to our word. But then again, you've been there from the inception, 20 years here with TV Derana, but your media career goes beyond that. So if you start a little bit about where you started and what made you to come into this industry?
I think it might be boring, right? If I have to start, you know.
No, but see, the time that you would, I'm a 80s and a 90s kid. So we start off with a little bit of, Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, and then we had a couple of private channels, but there was no options. I remember, if I'm not wrong about this, there was another very revolutionized at that particular point. We had independent. I know you don't know. How old are you, by the way?
I'm a 2001 kid.
So which is 24. Her media career is way beyond.
So now you're making me really ancient.
No,
don't do that.
no.
Please don't do that.
No, but what I was trying to say is, we had the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, and then the independent television network, ITN, and then suddenly there was this private network. But then there was another network called YA TV, which was completely towards youth-oriented, very educational programs, novel programs, quite different from the usual flavors of television, what we saw. And if I'm not wrong, you were there.
Yes, I was there. I was one of the initial members of the team. So I think television was different in the 90s. I mean, it was completely, we were not exposed to a lot of things. So, but I did my studies in visual communication, which was part of television and cinema. So I had the background. So when I came here, it was a different thing, because I studied in India. So India was much more advanced to a lot of things when it came to could it be cinema or television. But unfortunately, even though technically we were a little bit ahead because of the kind of grants we got internationally, but then conceptualizing and things like that, we were pretty backward, So it was a different time. But I was gifted, I had an opportunity to work with some very good personalities at that time. Could it be at Telecine, where I started off, and then at Young Asia Television. And a concept like Young Asia Television is not there even after a year.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see that, because at Young Asia you had individuals from different countries walking in, and who sometimes some did have a television background, some of them didn't, but then we all got together to do television shows. And
what was the inspiration there?
I think we need to ask the people who put it together, So it was a different time altogether. So from there, then I get an opportunity to go back to India, and because of a friend, and then I worked at Star Vijay for about 6 years. That was in Tamil. So then it was because I had to live there back again, and by that time my family had moved back here. So it was, I felt a bit homesick actually. So I thought, okay, fine. Even though India was brilliant, it opened my eyes out. I could work on different kinds of formats. Could it be reality? Could it be a magazine format? And they had a lot of budgets. The shows were big, and the audience was huge. And also, it's not like television here. Television there at that time was also about rating. So we were like, you had to, every Thursday was something about, what did your show do? And we would just sit there and as a team and talk about, oh my God, is this the rating you got? No, okay, fine, we have to do something different. So I was from that rat race, and it was sometimes it really, you as a creative, you don't want to talk about certain things because it's pretty exhausting. But then, so coming back, so that was my life back there. And then, I came back in 2005, and I actually thought I was not going to do anything in mainstream. I thought I was going to be a documentary filmmaker. But then Derana happened. So so it's been a roller coaster ride actually. A brilliant one.
Thank God for 2005, not we won't be here also. But I think like Sham said also, Sri Lankan media transformed. Like, we were lucky enough to grow up with Derana and everything else that was around, because YA TV didn't exist when I started watching TV, 1-year-olds can't watch TV. So when we get into it, we had TV Derana. And TV Derana at the moment, I feel like, is something that is currently, while being mainstream media, is a TV network that remains family friendly, but is not scared to experiment. And I feel like that you are such a driving force with that. If I'm to ask you, from 2005, when your inspiration was to stick to documentary filming after having a massive elaborated experience in India, coming to Lanka, joining Derana in 2005, and now 2025, this transformative journey that you have within Derana, how have you experienced it? Because you don't just simply stick to programming. You do documentaries. We have mini series that you have created. You are a filmmaker as well.
Reality show.
As well, for which I was brought in. Yay. How has that experience been? Before we dive
This is actually one of your program,
One of my
successes,
finds.
isn't it?
Proud products of Sharmila, Dharmarasa, Fonseka.
Well, I don't know where to start, Sanavi. I mean, yeah, so way back in 2005, well, if the 90s was different, 2005 was also another era. I was completely, you know, people here were not exposed to a lot of international content because it was not available. You know, YouTube was not happening. You know, you didn't have Netflix and you didn't have Amazon, so people were not exposed to a lot of things. And we just had one reality show at that moment of time, which was launched by a competitive channel. So when I came here, it was not only about building a team. And it's also about introducing a lot of new content to Sri Lankan market and the way the whole channel will look. We worked in a lot of packaging, graphics. Could it be a color theme, you know, the elements that has to come. So in that way, as a team, I think we've introduced so much and which a lot of other competitive channels have followed even today. You know, I sometimes, I do feel sometimes a little bit angry, but then most of the times I'm really proud that a lot of others follow me, you know, because it is, you know, it's you keep your uniqueness, it's your thumbnail on the concept, but then somebody can replicate and copy it, but then at the end of the day, it's your concept, and nobody can change that, you know, that's what I think. So I have done across and a lot, so I don't know where to start and where to stop. So yeah.
What if you take recently we know, if you know about the series Podu, and now you move on to this directing portion where you want to do telefilms, teleseries, and now I think a movie is also in the cards. I hear, you know, apparently all that. A female filmmaker, a female television producer, a female, you know, empowering. I know you personally, and I know you are very strong on that front where empowering female young artists to come into the industry, not to just to, you know, showcase themselves in a vulgar way or anything like that to demean them, because that's what most of the other channels do, and make sure that they are being utilized in such a manner. They are used, is what I'm saying. But here, there's a lot of empowerment that you put into behind your programming. What was the reason behind that? Was that a personal need that you thought, I'm sorry, I'm not going to, you know, stick to this model of, you know, bringing women and, you know, making them dance according to whatever in order to get some money into an organization. So Derana has actually followed that trend of making sure that, you know, empowering women, and not only women, even children, and inspiring them. It has been one of the key avenues which you have inceptionally done it. What was the thought process behind that?
See, I think television is about a concept. It's not about a language. And yes, it is glamorous, but then we are here doing free television. It's not a cable or, you know, where it's not like Netflix. It's where it's not SVOD or VOD and things like that. So in free television, when you do it, you have a lot more responsibility as a creator. I think because this has been watched by millions, but family. You know, there is from 5-year-olds to 60, 70, 80-year-olds. So when you have to do a television program, it has to be across. It has to cut across everyone, where the whole family sits in front. So starting from the high management at Derana, we believe in that completely. Could it be Dalit or Varuni or Smart or Laxari? All of us, we believe in that, where it has to be family oriented. So I think, having said that, so since we all are inside that, so it's very easy for us to agree on something, to even if I have to select someone or to introduce someone, so we always in that particular space, so which helps us to whenever we have to, could it be a drama, could it be a dancing concept, anything, so it helps us in that way. But also empowering women, I think, how do I say it? I mean, there are so many women working under me, who are mothers. Yeah, Sanavi. Not yet a mother.
Not yet a mother.
But then,
Not yet a mother, but apparently wanting to be one?
Yes.
Yes.
The future, hopefully. I think Sharma has created a space, like,
She
for
quickly
us.
changed the subject.
Yes.
yeah.
This is going to go for a very long time.
No, what I was trying to say was, I have a lot of women who are mothers, who are committed to their careers as well as their personal lives, but they do come in because that's the space that Dharan has created. I mean, you have to come into, and you can do a good creative work, and then you don't have to feel scared something is going to happen. Could it be 2 o'clock in the morning, on the sets? No, we give that space, not only for a woman, even for a guy who wants to be a part of it. So it is the kind of culture that we have created, and it didn't happen yesterday. It took us some 20 years, and we have maintained that. I don't want to comment about any other channel because I haven't worked anywhere else, but then I do listen to a lot of people who worked, and I have hired people, and I do work with personalities who have worked with the others, and they always come back and say, this is brilliant. You all treat people differently, and I'm really happy and proud to have created that space for everybody.
I know you haven't worked, I mean, you did work at Your TV and then you moved on to this, but I have worked on those channels. I have worked in 2 major channels in this country, and one of the reasons for me to stay here is what you just explained. Because when I first came in those channels, I'm not trying to put some other channel down and try to boast ours, but you have to tell the truth. The truth is the fact that when I walked into this organization the first day, and then I can access the CEO like walking in. I mean, there is no glamorous space, shut off areas, and security outside the door and all that kind of this thing. That is the mentality that is being created in other these channels that I have worked prior. And here they are very simple, and how many conversations do we have on a daily basis whenever we meet in the corridors, and we joke around. We have that kind of, that never is there I can guarantee you that, because I have worked and I can tell you that. Lot more to talk about the creative process of Charm and exactly what drives her. There should be something fueling her to stick around for this long in this industry, because this industry is not easy, Sanvi.
I know.
It is really hard work, especially behind the camera.
Definitely.
You have no idea. I think you have an idea about how hard that is.
And the most important part is, no matter how long she's been working here, no matter how much of time she's already spent on this art, she keeps having a banger after a banger after a banger. So we need to understand what really goes inside the creative mind of Ms. Shah.
So before all that, let's take a short break. This is a special of Showbiz Tonight. We are in a conversation with our very own Sham. We'll be right back. We'll take a short commercial break and we'll be right off. Welcome back, everyone, to our special of Showbiz Tonight on this Sunday night. We're in conversation with Sharmila Dharmarasa Fonseka, Director, Head of Programs at the Derana Media Network right here. One of our very own. We've been talking about, about her creative achievements here at Derana and what made her to come here and all. Sham, let's talk about a little bit about your creative process. That is something I really would like to know because a lot of creative individuals go through a lot of pain, which gives them the creative fuel that brings a lot of beautiful things out into the world. I'm sure you also has a process. What exactly is your process whenever you approach anything creative?
I really like you guys, but I'm not going to express my share my secrets with you. No, see, it's like this. It's, as you said, it's different for different people. When you're a creative, you're not normal. I always think a creative person, he or she is creative because they are weird. Because if you're normal, then you can't be creative. That's my the philosophy. Completely.
Agreed.
We are very eccentric sometimes in our thought process. And you have to think out of the box. Yeah. It's not in that square. You have to. Otherwise, you can't do anything. You have to. But of course, sometimes creativity is cut short because of a lot of other reasons like budgets and maybe even individuals where you want to put them somewhere, but then you may not find them. I'm talking about fiction. Non-fiction is different. I would call myself a non-fiction specialist because I have worked in non-fiction for a very long time. My career in fiction starts much later with Podu, of course. So when you whatever you do, could it be non-fiction or fiction, I think you need to plan right. Of course, when it comes to cinema, of course, there are a lot of directors who I've heard who walk into the set and write a scene. I'm not that person. I always plan to the last thing, So I would do, could it be, when it comes to fiction, could it be the scripting, casting, sets, everything is planned, because I think the planning really helps, And I think I have trained my team to share everything with the others as well, because there are people I've worked with in the past who don't share anything at all, but then as a young television person, when you can't expect, you don't think like them. You don't think like a senior. So, but I have been in situations where they think, oh, you should have done this. But then I haven't because I didn't know. But I don't do that. I make sure my whole team understands where I stand, because at the end of the day, it's your idea. And as an individual, you can't execute it alone. You need a team to do that. And everybody has to be in the same platform. To be in the same platform, you have to share, because it's not magic. You don't creatively, this is everything has been planned around here. The sets have been planned, the graphics have been planned, the camera angles have been planned, even the dials, most often the colors and everything. So that's where, you need to be in the same line as others. So I think as a creative, you need to plan. After you, of course, sit and conceptualize whatever it is. Could it be anything, as I said, fiction or non-fiction? You have to plan. The planning makes it perfect. And of course, after that, you have to sit as a team. You have to run down, You have to do your rehearsals. It would be once, twice, thrice. When it's fiction, it's lots more hard work. You have to work a little bit more because you are choosing characters that has to go in with your script. So sometimes the characters work, sometimes they don't. But then to make it perfect, you have to work. You have to rehearse again and again and again. I wouldn't say I have always won. There are concepts that is drastically failed. I would have thought was superb. I've done a superb concept. Everybody's going to love it. No, it's just gone. But there are concepts that I've introduced where I would have just done it over a night. And that's even running. After 8-9 years, one of the biggest concepts that we did was a show called Champion Stars, which features Peshala as a presenter, Madhav, and of course it's had Sachin Ripunsala and all that in the past. So just to talk about that particular concept. So Peshala is someone who always comes. He's a musician. He's a tabla specialist. He's a nipun. He comes in. He always sits with me, and he's always jokes with me, and he's forever ragging me. So I thought, why the hell are you only dragging me? Let me give you a show. Why don't you try that out? And I put Madhava. By that time, Madhava was a little bit more pro. I put in Madhava and Sachini, and that show really clicked because it was the combination. It's not like the way you say. It was not something that I really planned to work. I thought, okay, let me introduce him and see he has a presenter. He became a superstar. So sometimes, concepts work brilliantly. Sometimes they don't. I don't want to talk about the ones I failed.
We don't want to. I've always had this question, So you mentioned you started off as a non-fiction, or rather a non-fiction person who turned into fiction, and then your first baby in that category was Podu. And mind you, Podu was Sri Lanka's first mini TV series. That was a nuanced concept for Sri Lanka. Nobody had seen that happen in Sri Lanka, production done here. And then the cast that you brought in, they weren't the high celebrities people have seen around. It's a fresh cast, it's fresh people, fresh concepts and such and such. How did the creative process of Podu come to light? Because it sort of, from what I heard from my parents and then everyone else, they were brought back into their campus memories, going to uni, being ragged, having all of that. And for us as kids, we haven't experienced that. And then to see all of that get bridged with a beautiful love story, with a bit of more action and a bit of more thrill to it, how did, or rather, let me ask this. When it comes to, you mentioned your creative process, you are known for bringing nuanced concepts that sometimes people try to imitate but sometimes fail. For example, things like Kalagame Aurudu. It was a concept that you brought in, and it was in running for so long, and it's one of our
I can't claim it anymore though.
Yeah, because everyone else tries to do it. But nobody can deliver it to Sham's quality. That's a different story. So when it comes to you bringing nuanced concepts, risks come along with it. Like you said, things could fail, things could not fail. How do you really build in your creativity, fuel your creativity through all these obstacles that go through? I mean, especially as a creative, you might have writer's block, you might have to, say, be boxed into standards that are put in by the society as Sri Lankans, plus we are a family network. How do you navigate yourself through all of that?
So, I don't think you have a particular way of doing it. I think being a non-fiction person, I did want to do fiction a long time ago. I think I had a writer's block for many years. So it was only during COVID then where we had a lot of time to, just sit and relax. That was the time when I always wanted to do something, a story revolving around university, because I think all of us have gone through that process, and it's something. It's an unforgettable time in our life, I guess. So yeah, so that I just wanted to do something, and I had the time to tell you the truth. And I did my co-writers. Podu was Dharmarasa and Sudesh, of course, who got in with me, and we didn't have a plan as such, but we had a storyline. The storyline was about a normal guy walking into university, becoming a union leader, and then the story was supposed to end where he becomes the president of the country. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that. I couldn't finish the series. But yeah, we did 2 seasons of it, and when I introduced when we selected the cast, even at that point, we were not really sure of Randika, but I would say I was luck. It was luck, completely luck that I found him, and he became such a brilliant performer to portray that character of Adi, and all the others for that matter. So when we actually sat and conceptualized it, we never thought it was going to be such a big hit. In fact, I still remember watching it on TV, and then I got a call from a completely unknown person, and then she was like, "Oh my God, my God, it's so brilliant." And then I thought, oh yeah, okay, is it that brilliant? So as a creator, you wouldn't know. It's the same way with movies also, I guess. You never know. What ticks the audience. It could be. I think Randika was his limelight as such. He appeared in the last scene of the first episode. All he did was just turn, and he ran to the girl, and that's all. And that particular shot, which I never thought was going to be, you know, so brilliant, he became so famous. And the second episode, after about 20 minutes, there is a shot of him running. And of course, the negative role was done by Fonseka. He was running in front and he was running at the back. There are so many people who walked up to me and said, Sham, I saw that shot for some 20 times, 40 times. It was just running. But why I'm saying this is sometimes certain things you would just take, not really thinking of far. It's not like, oh, I have planned this shot so much. No, sometimes certain, even small things work brilliantly. It could be the angle, it could be the way in that the actors have portrayed that particular scene. So there are a lot of elements that come into it. So as a creative, I would say, oh, I planned so much. No, you know, sometimes when you write, you don't. But then to shoot, of course, I do plan. But to write or to cast someone, I don't. It just happens.
It happens.
She. I never thought she was going to be interviewing me. I never thought that. Come on, there she is. So.
Before we go in for a break, very quickly, one thing that I want to ask you, you talked about the ones that were successful, and then there are some who comes in, does not appreciate the whole you know, opportunity that they have in hand. They don't see far beyond. They just see you know, not even under their nose they can figure it out. So in an instant like that, bringing in new talent into the industry is a risk at all times, because you know, they might actually break or make your entire creativity of it, things. How do you navigate that particular portion? Because I know that it's going to be very taxing emotionally and also personally and then professionally as well. I think you've introduced millions of newcomers into this industry. So how do you see that aspect of it?
I don't think we introduce someone thinking that that's going to bring us something back, or he or she is going to give us something back. We just introduce them because we are passionate about the media and we want to give opportunities to young people. At the same time, when it's a fiction, we want to do the right thing when it comes to a certain character. So if I think we just have to let it go. You know, I mean, I have seen people rise up and come the circle, fall again, rise up. You know, so I think different people react to fame in different way. I can't stop that. That doesn't mean I'm not going to introduce anybody, you know. So we just, as a creative, you just have to wait and watch. That's about it. And I would never stop introducing anyone. So I would say that, you know, if somebody is not, you know, grateful enough for what we have done, that's okay. That's life. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Let's take a short commercial break. We're in conversation with a mammoth in the industry of television. I'm not talking about your
Please,
size.
don't embarrass me now.
We're not talking about her size. But then again, you know, in terms of her career, it is a mammoth a career that she has actually had. Very successful one and very, very colorful one as well. And she is a colorful lady. I call her one of the queens of Derana. There are, I think, very few here. Because you know you can't have many queens in the same space.
Yes.
There's war, so that's why you have kings and then you have a queen.
You guys really boost my ego now. I'm like, okay.
Let's take a short commercial break. We are in conversation with Sharmila Dharmarasa Fonseka, who is the director and head of programming at the Derana Media Network. This is Showbiz Tonight. Will be right back.
Welcome back to Showbiz Tonight. We're in conversation with the director, head of programming at Derana Media Networks, Sharmila Dharmarasa Fonseka, a creative individual, one of a kind, and a true visionary that we are so blessed to work with.
Indeed. And I really like the conversations that we have, Sham, you know, in your office or here. I keep making jokes at her, and one of the things that I've really witnessed it, as per the status that she is in, and of course her title and the presence that she is like here in this company, she can tell me off, you know, don't do that. But she never does. She enjoys the conversation. I don't know whether she enjoys it, but then again, you know, I see her smiling.
I do.
I see her smiling, and I see her, you know, having a good time. So, I mean, thank you for that, for mingling with the lesser people.
Oh,
This thing. But then again, Sham, let's talk a little bit about, you know, we're running out of time, so this is our last segment. I want to talk about the future of television, because apparently everybody keeps telling future of television is dead. With all Netflix, streaming services coming in.
Not in my lifetime, though.
I know, no, but this industry can't be killed. A lot of people were telling, you know, for a longer period of time, this is dead, this is dead, this is dead, this is dead.
They said radio would die.
Yeah, exactly. And it keeps coming back. And how do we keep it fresh?
See, let me go a little bit, you know, back. So when you take the 80s, you know, when television came to Sri Lanka, it was a lot about community viewing, right? I did say in another interview as well, where you know, I had in my grandmother's house, you know, we just had one black and white TV, and every Saturdays they play a Sinhala movie, and the whole lane used to come and watch it. And my grandmother serves tea and biscuit and, you know, all that. You know,
it's a community.
It was a community. I mean, it was everybody. Came in, enjoyed the film. It was all about, you know, sharing, having a chat, you know, talking about the movie. It was a lot more about just watching the film. It's about the whole community, you know. But now it's not that, you know. When I have to do a content, I have to think about not only having the program on television, but how am I going to promote it on the social media, you know. Because it's become individual viewing. And when I say individual, it's about your liking as well, you know, whether you want to watch that content, you know. And even that time we did have something called the remote, where every second, you can change the content. We still do. So even we do that, you know. I do it where, you know, if I don't like something, I change. But then I would have taken 5 seconds or 10 seconds on television, but on social media, we only just take only that visual counts, the thumbnail counts sometimes. So I have to think of doing television, a program, at the same time marketing it to the younger generation who's watching it now, because the kind of formats which were there earlier may not be suitable now. So it is a huge challenge as a creative. It's a completely different challenge for me, because I don't think television has become easy anymore. It's a lot more challenging, because every minute counts. Could it be a live format that we do, or a magazine format that we do? You know, sometimes we really don't think a lot. You know, it could be a simple format like a cookery show. You know, where there is a chef, which you do, and he is doing something, and you are there. Why would people want to watch it?
You know, I learned to cook, thanks to Sham.
So I mean, maybe because Sanavi is pretty and she's animated and she says the right thing, or maybe the chef is doing something nice. So we have to think of elements, not just do the dish, because there's an attractive young chef and an attractive host who's actually communicating it and, you know, giving the right, saying the right thing, so that it is just not for an audience to sit and, okay, this is how we're going to do the chicken curry. No, because there are a lot more entertaining elements involved. And then how am I going to promote that on the social media? You know, because people get attracted to all the wrong reasons. We might think, oh my God, this is a brilliant idea, or this is a brilliant present or anything, you know, but people get attracted to very, very silly things. it could be a smile. I'm just going
Yeah.
to quote her again, you know, because there was this news thing and where she winked.
I didn't win.
It was elections.
Oh,
It was elections,
so-
and she was, you know,
didn't
one of the
wink.
serious things that she can be on, and then she winks.
I
Yes.
didn't win.
So that's the thing, you know, and everybody got really attracted to that. So there is very, you know, you can't predict the audience at all. The audience react to sometimes to the silliest thing, and sometimes to something serious that you never thought they really believe in it, you know. So, but this is a brilliant medium to be in, and because I always think, you know, television has so much of power that you can take somebody from one house and put them in another house and go and shoot them there and say and claim this is their house. That's how it is. We can change the whole space, whole setup, and just create a new environment and show that they live there. So the power of television is a lot more, and we have, as individuals, we do have a lot of responsibility. Of course, when it's in the news division, you have a lot more responsibility than us. But whatever you create, I don't think, I wouldn't say television is going to die, but then I don't want even to say that word. But as long as I'm there, it's not going to happen. So I'm going to be happy about it.
Lot promising, what do you call, prospects here,
Definitely.
because, you know, our careers are safe.
Exactly. I was just about to say, as long as Sham is here, we're fine.
But very quickly, Sham, we have, I think, around 2 minutes only. We have to wrap up the show. Little kid watching right there outside, a little girl, okay, who wants to know, I love this medium too. I want to be a creator. I want to be part of this. What's your advice?
Don't think too much. Just come. We are available. Derana is always open. You know, we always welcome good, creative people, and we actually give them a space where they can develop into individuals who can create shows. So don't think too much. If you want to be here, just walk in.
Absolutely good advice.
I know.
I think that's exactly what you did, right?
That's exactly what we did. I mean, you get the opportunity, you seize it, and then when you know you're in a safe space, a creative safe space, you get more inspired to grow. And I think that's what you have been fostered. So thank you so much for that. And I think we had a wonderful show, actually.
We can go on and on and on and on and on. I think we should get her for to critique about the movies and everything
Oh, it will be
on that
fab.
format of that show. So you
I
would
have a
love it.
secretary. You can just
We can do that. We can do
Yeah, exactly. But
I
Sham,
don't have a secretary.
yeah, we know because we can just walk in if talk to her whenever she's available. Anyway, thank you very much, Sham. Really appreciate
Thank you so much.
Coming on the show and speaking to us and sharing your ideas. So 30 years, congratulations, and here's to the next 30. I hope you, even when you are really, really old, you still do TV and create things. You know, creators are always creators. So congratulations once again on your achievement. Well, that's all the time we have for you tonight. We'll be back again next week, but 9:30 tonight. You can watch the repeat of Showbiz tonight, the special, the one that we keep powering about the movies, which we did yesterday, a repeat of that. But once again, this is a conversation. Thank you very much, Sham, for that, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next week on Saturday at 6 p.m. Right here on Showbiz. Have a good night.
She's taller than most, and she's looking at me. I can see her eyes looking from the page of a magazine. She makes me feel like I could be a tower, big strong tower.